Day 8, and it was already time to head to the airport. But before that, we made one last tour of Matsumoto Castle. We headed straight to Matsumoto Castle straight after breakfast, and it was as grand as it was at night. Being early morning, it was also very quiet and peaceful. Inside the castle, historical relics were on display. From beautiful art to weapons for warfare, the history here was rich. The castle also had magnificent surrounding views of both Matsumoto City and the pristine mountains beyond it. I wish I could have stayed a bit longer. The time was short, so I started my descent. With that, we were back on the road for one last trip in our trusty ride, and our time in Matsumoto City came to an end. I'd like to visit this city again one day. There's still so much to see here. This trip was very fast for me, but I'm very glad to have experienced it and visited places that I've never been to before. We only scratched the surface at each location we visited, and there were also many other places near and between each of them to explore. However, it's given me ideas for future travel plans and to experience these places again in greater detail. perhaps in different seasons too. Another roadside stop was made for a few refreshments before the last stretch of the trip. We traveled far, and before we knew it, we finally arrived at our hotel back at Haneda Airport, all weary and tired. After seeing what's new in the airport, the treasures from the past few days were sorted before enjoying special Yamanashi shoe pastries for dinner. Only a few hours of sleep was had before we needed to check in for our flight. I've barely travelled in my life to know, but the terminals here were very relaxing at 4 AM in the morning. Two hours later, we were on our way home. If you followed this short project of mine, I would like to say thank you very much again for watching, and that I hope you found it interesting. This was a very personal passion project for me, and it is certainly different from the art videos that I usually make. This project was both for practicing my videography to improve, and to document and share a bit about myself and my journey. Rather than collect photos and videos and letting them get lost in the sea of my own data and time, it was also a chance for me to relive my memorable experiences, all compiled into a convenient and digestible format. With that, I also hope to keep this up with my future trips, and to try different ways in presenting my art from what I've learned. And finally, after getting back home, I had the chance to completely sort and see my souvenirs properly once again. paper rolls that I bought from Ozuwashi at the beginning of the trip also arrived safely a few days later too. And with that, it was back to folding.